Yeah. We're going to do it again. All right, here we go, folks, this week. How you doing over there, Essence?
I'm all right. My blues man passed away this morning, Mel Waters. Y'all might not know, but from those of us down south, we know what that feel good blues is like. So,
What is that like?
it's smoke-filled rooms and whiskey and chicken wings and people dancing and singing and no one wants to leave.
Oh, okay. There ain't nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that.
It feels good.
Feels good.
It feels good.
And you had B.B. King, rest in peace. He went too. So, man, this ain't the week for the blues. Anyway, and then his family having issues. And
yeah, you see his daughters are saying that his assistants had something to do with his passing.
What did he do? So are they in the will or something? I mean, why?
Well, one of the assistants is actually his executor and has had power of attorney for a while.
And it's not even his family?
Right, and they're saying that he's kept the family from seeing him for.
Why did this always happen, man? That'd be tripping me out when
people who was estranged in lifetime all of a sudden want to be close in death.
All of a sudden, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, so what we getting into this week? We got this, it's a letter. What's that city in New York called?
Lindenhurst Village, not Valley, Village.
Lindenhurst Valley. Oh, what is it? Wait.
Lindenhurst Village. It's in
Village of Lindenhurst. It's
right.
in New York, Long Island, right?
Long
Island.
Yes.
So anyway, this lady got a letter right here.
Yes, a young lady named Ronica.
Yeah.
Ronica Copes went
There
to
you
her
go.
mailbox and received a letter that just very nicely said, "Go away. You don't belong here. Please move as soon as you can." And I'm looking at this coverage and I'm going, what is this? 1960s Raisin in the Sun. I'm gonna send you a letter as proof that you're not really fit to walk the earth. What kind of mess is this going on? What did you think about it when you saw it?
I was like, well, it didn't even shock me, man. This has been going on for like the last 30 years.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been going on forever, but I'm talking about intensely because it started in Southern California. And I told you, and you can go look it up. People never bring up how the Hispanics was kicking black people out of certain neighborhoods they had been in forever. But nobody ever make that a big story.
Because it started in Southern California, not in the Deep South?
Maybe that's it. They don't want people to know. But we here to tell you, white people. I'm sitting here going like, what's the big deal?
Well,
not what's the big deal, but like.
It is a big deal to get
right.
there because you don't know which one of your neighbors put that in your mail.
Because I'm sure I got neighbors who don't want me living where I live.
I've been around your house on the weekend. I can't blame them for that.
I'm not loud. I am not loud.
Y'all believe that?
I put the H on it.
At any rate.
Okay.
No, but really, at any rate, the me, I'm gonna look it up. Well, actually, me, I'm gonna make my own opinions. But being around you, I started looking things up more. I wanted to see what Lindenhurst is like, and it is 84% white, and like 11% Hispanic, and only about 1.5% black. But that was as of like a 2000.
Maybe Hispanic did it, because they can run DNA on this stuff now. I'm not talking about human DNA. I'm talking about technology. It's like DNA. They can look it up. They can look at the printer, and all these codes and stuff. You heard about all that, right?
Yeah, but the way the media is spinning it,
Mm-hmm.
this is a totally like when you look at the area of Lindenhurst itself.
Mm-hmm.
It's not necessarily. I'm not gonna say it's like a bad area. It's just a regular. It reminds you of a Midwest town. The way the houses are.
Well, that's how a lot of
just small, simple houses.
Right.
Median house prices like $300,000. They were hit, pretty hard by Hurricane Sandy. But a lot of people are saying since Hurricane Sandy, anybody can come in and just buy a house, and people been buying and flipping houses. And a lot of the comments online about the neighborhoods and like different real estate areas, we're talking about even Asians moving in and flipping houses and people not liking that. So obviously, this is why.
So when you say people not liking it, what people are not liking this?
Well, there were some people who lived there saying that the neighborhoods are gone down, businesses are leaving since Sandy came in, and that a lot of Asians or different people are coming in and buying the houses, just flipping them and selling them to anybody. That's what they said, selling it to anybody. What does that really mean?
So they want them to sell it to more white people.
But So basically, this looked like a house version of a trailer park in terms of
I know. I seen some of them people being interviewed. I was like, that ain't no upper middle class.
It's exactly, even though they want you to kind of think that it's, these people up here don't want Negroes around them. And then you see the community rallying behind the people. And
that's what we hear, huh?
I think that's why we're seeing it in the media.
Like just 10 people rallying behind them?
Because when it happened, you got people in the community say, they're not speaking for us. And the community leaders going, whoever wrote this is a coward and blah, blah, blah. And so that's the image that people want to portray. What they didn't tell us was right down the road, 6 miles down the road, and give me 1 second, let me look up this word because it's weird. Massapequa, New York. It's only 6 miles away. Mm-hmm. A black family received a letter that said, get out, and somebody shot through their window, and the next day they moved, but you never heard that story. That story never hit the news. These people's lives were in danger. Somebody shot into their house 6 miles away from where somebody gets a little note. But the bullet don't count because that would make the black people.
What's the Hispanic population in that city you just mentioned?
I didn't look that up.
And I keep harping on that is because I experienced personally as a black man in Southern California, and they try to make it out of a gang thing, right? Which it was gang members doing a lot of the street work, but where's the mindset coming from? You understand? So they try to make it when it hit the media. What was going on in Los Angeles when it hit the media, they try to make it out, this gang don't like that gang, but it was Hispanics kicking out black people from neighborhoods in South Central because they became bigger and more, numbers. So that's what I'm trying to figure out. You just said,
yes, 11%. Now in
Lindenhurst is 11% Hispanic
compared to 1.5% black.
Right. And so what's the percentage of Hispanics in that neighborhood you just mentioned? That city you just mentioned?
I didn't look.
And this has been going on for, huh?
I can't tell you.
Levittown in Long Island, that's where Bill O'Reilly from. They was doing this many years ago too. It starts with the real. I always wondered this. We always talk about equality in America, right? Let me ask you this. How do you think neighborhoods get segregated? How did it happen? There's only one job title that can give you an answer to that.
Real estate agent.
A real estate agent.
Yep.
Think about that. It don't take, because when white people buying houses, they're looking at the schools, the neighborhoods, and the house and stuff. And a lot of times when you go, because I bought a few houses, you drive around, still don't even know who your neighbors are, or unless you drive a couple times, you still don't know. Even so, if it's a mixed neighborhood, but all these all white neighborhoods or all any type of neighborhoods, you know who put them people there?
They real estate agents.
Yes. When I was in Southern California, I was thinking about buying a house in Palmdale, California, right? I had a real estate agent. She was a nice lady, but I noticed every time I got to a house that I really liked,
something was wrong.
That might be off the market tomorrow. And this was a few years ago, and I was like, wait a minute. I finally caught on. I was like, because it would be the best deal, a nice house, but I would look around the neighborhood. Like, I would drive back through the neighborhood to see who lived in the neighborhood, who's going to be my damn neighbors and all that.
But that's why, like I said, it reminded me of, do you remember that movie Raisin and Son back in the day? It had Sidney Poitier in it and Ruby Dee, and they had the insurance check coming, and the mother went out and bought. I think you and I sat and watched it one night to analyze it. Mm-hmm. But that was one of the things. She said she just went to get the best house for get the most house for the least amount of money, and it was a neighborhood that was all white, and the white neighbors sent somebody from the Community Improvement Association to pay them not to move into the house. And so that's why it really reminded me of that, because it's just like, how can you set up?
Paid them not to move in.
Yeah, they were gonna buy the house back at a profit for them just not to come.
Wow.
And that's the kind of thing that was going on, because even like Lindenhurst used to be, even though it wasn't really a nice neighborhood, it was more expensive. So now $300,000 house, okay.
And you say all this happened since the hurricane.
Right, that about $300,000 since the hurricane. Right now, you can get a decent house in Lindenhurst for right around that. Now remember, 6 miles away, 6 miles, not 60. not 15, not 20 miles, 6 miles away in Massapequa, the houses are running $700,000.
Just 6 miles away.
Just
Now,
6
you know
miles
what
away.
happens a lot, too? When you have a natural catastrophe or a neighborhood is slowly degrading and the price value going down, they want minorities to come in here because they've built new housing tracts in another area, and sometimes it's hard to get those white people to move from their neighborhoods. So what they'll do is they'll start bringing blacks in to get them to move.
Well,
they did this in Minnesota. This happened in Minnesota, and they used Section 8.
right.
Go ahead now.
I said that's exactly why I was thinking that in itself was a huge form of racism in itself, because now that the houses are about $300,000, they also have outlandish insurance premiums since Sandy, because now they're in a flood zone and all these kinds of things. And so now you want to sell these houses
And
to
so-
black people. You wouldn't sell them to them before.
And so they know the neighborhood is they can't repair.
They can't build more on there.
Right. They can't do anything to the neighborhood. They can't upgrade it back, or they don't want to spend the money. So now they'll bring in the black people. And then 10 years from now, when everyone
all
look
the-
back at the neighborhood and it's all run down, they're going to blame it on black
On the-
people.
Bam.
But it's really the businessman who did it.
Who's sitting over in his
I always
house
tell them,
out in the Hamptons.
I try to tell white people, working class white people and poor white people all the time, the rich man gets away with a lot in America because he paints it black.
Mm-hmm.
Like initially, crack was being used by white people. If you look at FBI statistics, the majority of people getting arrested for crack-related incidents was white people.
Mm-hmm.
But in the news, all you seen was black people.
Right.
So when they painted it a black issue, so no one ever really did anything about it.
Because that's just the way they are.
Right.
As people got to realize.
And they do
those
that to you white
stereotypes.
people. Come on. Let's work together.
That's why a lot of times people will see, especially black people talking and say, "Oh, well, they're just being racist, or it's reverse racism, or you got to stop blaming white people." Nobody blames white people. It's a power structure and a system that's in place. That's where the blame belongs. Because, like you were saying, if white people and black people, working class people, I don't care if they to cover that lava lamp over there, are working together, when the many aren't afraid of the few anymore.
And the one
Progress
reason why
is
that,
made.
and that is the real key, but the reason why that won't happen is because the power structure, rich, greedy people, they control how we feel about each other. Okay, they have white people scared of black crime. They have black people scared of racism. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's just this cycle, divide and conquer. And he's been doing it forever.
And he's just sitting on the hill watching and laughing.
Okay, and so you got anything else to say on that?
That's pretty much all I got to say about that.
Oh, okay. I thought you had something to say about this lady right here.
Oh yeah, that was well, it brought up the
Well, remember they
racism.
interviewed this lady.
Well, you know, all the news articles have been talking about Ronica Copes, which is the young lady we'll see in a lot of the pictures actually holding the letters.
You mean her right here?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And she's the one who actually went to the mailbox. But the news stories are showing this lady, and we don't even know her name, except after extensive research, that's Ronica's mother. But they're listing it as the same person.
Wow, she looked kind of young to be her mom. Wait, this is her mother? Shit, mama look good.
Yeah, mama look better than
Or
she
the
lived
daughter
her
look
life
kind of older. How old is the daughter? I mean, no disrespect, but I thought that was like sisters.
Maybe she ain't got no makeup on.
Oh, okay.
But you know that they say black don't crack.
Black don't crack. So.
No, but really, the new how can they sit here and have a story about racism when the news entities themselves that are talking about it won't even get the names right? They're not the same person, people.
They're not the same person. Okay. Okay, and let me finish this by saying this. So I want white people to understand how what they call that geographical racism works. How they move demographics into different areas. Or when different businesses take over a community, how black people see it the same way as white people. We both really see it the same way, but because of stereotypes, we perceive it different. For example, if a CVS, if a white community and a black community have a neighborhood store, and a CVS comes in and buys out that neighborhood store from both communities, what will happen is the white people in that community are going to say, who missed that store, they're going to say, man, we love that store. These corporations is taking over everything. These corporations is taking over everything. The only difference is when a black person see that, they thinking, man, these white people are taking over everything. And it's not because of racism or hatred towards white people. It's because we've been conditioned that corporations and money is all run by white people. But if you really look at the bottom line, we both seeing the same thing. We just perceiving it differently because how it's presented to us. So we all in the same boat. Okay? And that's what gets me about this story is when I see the white people in this neighborhood, they all look like working class white people. And those be the ones who have the most issues verbally with black people or other races. You know, because the rich white people can do it on the sly level or keep it hidden. So that's what gives me. Wake up. I'm trying to tell you, fools.